Hi folks, how you doing? You are currently looking at the recording of the pop track. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just spend the next wee while running you through it and maybe offering some suggestions that you could maybe use if you want to write a song along to it. Okay, so I've colour coded up here. This is the kind of drum kit part. So I've colour coded just so you can see for sections. The red sections we're going to use as like the kind of intro and the bridge and the pre-chorus. The yellow section is the verse, and the green sections are going to be the choruses. So I'll stop them and start them and just kind of let you hear a wee bit of it and just kind of chat a wee bit about each section while we're going through it. Okay, so the first bit we're going to have a wee listen to is going to be the intro. Okay, here we go. So this is really just a wee instrumental prelude that sets up the actual song. Feel free to leave that bit as an instrumental. So this bit here is the verse section. Okay, so the verse section is kind of where you want to begin telling your story, so to speak. So in this case, as you can see here, I've gone with it kind of repeats twice, so the kind of classic double verse. But as you can see, right about now it will cut off. Okay, so I've made that wee bit kind of purposely short. Really, it's a basically what that means is you're going to have to make each word really count in your lyrics. You know, you've maybe got 4 lines here to get your initial idea in, and maybe, you know, due to the kind of length of that verse, you might want to let the melody wander about a wee bit. I wouldn't worry too much about repetition of the melody here. If you've got enough to say, you might just want to think about singing something over the top of it. You know, just do what feels natural. You might want to hum something just to kind of get yourself a wee idea, one note at a time, get a feel for a wee idea. And actually sometimes you might find as you do this, you know, words could maybe even form in your head, and you might get some sort of lyrical idea as you're sort of trying to feel your way through getting a melody to start with. So if that happens, let it happen. Invite those ideas into your head and write them down. Again, don't even worry too much about rhyme here. It's actually probably more important that the words that you're trying to fit into the melody sound good. So don't really worry too much about the kind of rhyme scheme here. You're really just sort of opening up the introduction to your story, and then you're kind of going to let that develop as it goes on. So what I would say here, just try a few different things until you get an idea and one of them sticks. So we're going to move to the bridge and the pre-chorus here. Okay, so I'll give you a quick blast of that. So as you can hear, the chords are slightly different from the verse here, and that's building up nicely. And then we'll get to the chorus bit in a wee second. Okay, so pre-chorus, what you want to really think about here is that you could maybe introduce a couple of lines that will help to sort of build the story, keep the momentum of your story or your idea going, or maybe shed a little more light on your idea, or even maybe add a little twist to the tale or the idea of what you're writing about, and that'll just set up your chorus section quite nicely. Melodically or musically, if you like, it's probably good to try something a wee bit different in this section too. So for example, if you've used quite a lot of words or some short notes in your melody in the verse, then maybe try the opposite here. You know, leave a little more space. Maybe try a couple of longer notes or even kind of less words. And what that does is it just kind of helps to keep the listener interested, and it gives you just a wee bit more scope again for building up to this chorus, which is obviously, as we know, the main part of the song. So let's go to the chorus now. Okay, so this is where you want your listener to really understand the whole point of your song. Okay, so lyrically, you really want to think about kind of summing up what you want to say here, what the whole story is about. You know, think about simplicity. Really, that's the key to a good chorus is simplicity, I would say. You know, think about simple words, something that people can relate to, you know, and maybe think about repetition here too, because repetition's a very important part of a chorus. Again, it's all about letting the listener remember something, relate to it, and kind of reinforce what you really want to say. So repetition's a great a great device to use in choruses, you know, and if you can repeat it without being too boring, then people are going to remember it. Melodically, again, let's think about singing this one when you get, because the chords are quite similar in the verse and the chorus, we're all diatonic, which means we're playing in the same key all the time. What you want to think about for your melodies here is to think about singing it in a higher pitch or a register, higher than the verses, so that will really help it stand out again, and it will kind of reinforce what you're singing about. Feel free to belt this bit out, you know, you have to really mean what you say. If you don't mean what you say, then people aren't going to believe what you're singing about, and it's just going to collapse, you know. So you really want to get if it's an emotional song you're singing about, you really want to get those emotions in there and really go for it. Mean your words, you know. So there we go, there's your chorus. So let's move on to now this wee section here, okay? Now it's almost just kind of repeating the intro, so it's just a wee kind of motif, almost, if you like, it's a bridge between the chorus and the verse. Now, if you've said all you've need to say in the chorus, sorry, you could probably leave this bit blank, or you could maybe insert a wee sort of lyrical punchline or a send-off to the chorus. Usually something that would either kind of reinforce your chorus lyric, or again, a wee twist if you're so inclined, but you could just leave this bit as an instrumental. Okay. And then we get to the second chorus. So this is, as you can see, half the amount of the first section, so you've actually got, you know, half the amount of things to say. So again, make those words count. And then we're back into the bridge, so you can continue telling the story here using the same melody as the last bridge. Repeat it, or you could even add to it, or make just a very sort of minor changes here and there if you like. It could be something like you're singing in a different tense, or maybe just swapping just one or two of the words. And again, if it's done well, it can be really effective in terms of the kind of repetition, which, as I've said before, is a very key technique, particularly in writing pop music. And then we get to the chorus, and you're doing the same thing again, okay? You're just repeating and repeating. You're getting that repetition in there. You're really nailing that meaning of the whole song home, and you're hopefully getting people to want to hear it again. Okay, so, and don't forget, you want to sing these choruses in a much higher, think about going higher all the time. Use all your lungs. And then we get to this wee breakdown section here. So this is what you would call a middle 8, technically. This is a middle 4, it's only 4 bars, this one. Middle 8 usually is called, well, it's called a middle 8 because usually it consists of 8 bars, but as I said, this is a middle 4. Now, what you could do here is you could leave this as a wee instrumental break, you know, give the ears a rest from trying to process your lyrics. Or again, you could maybe introduce just another wee lyrical element or a melody if you like. But I would say, because this is quite a short wee section, just think short and snappy, you know, maybe one line and you repeat it a couple of times, or, you know, again, there's no rules here, you can do whatever you want. And then we get to the last chorus. So the thing about this chorus is, I'll just play the middle 8 very quickly, okay? Now what happens in this chorus is there's a chord modulation. So that means the last chorus moves up in key. So this gives you a chance to really belt out your chorus lyrics and get those feelings in there and get yourself heard. And again, you can repeat this melody as usual, you've just modulated it, so that means you're just singing it in a higher key. Or again, if you feel like making little tiny changes, if you feel like the listener would maybe benefit from a further development in the story, or maybe just a wee sort of change in the melody just to make it that wee tiny wee bit more interesting. So here you'll hear we're still in the key, the same chords as we used in the bridge, and then we're getting to the modulation just about here. There we are. And then you're going into that last double chorus, okay? As before. Lovely. Okay, there we go. And then it's going to end just after the second as an outro, which is the same as the intro. Of course, we're still in the new key here, but again, you can leave this as an instrumental. Or you can maybe just add one little final punchline to the story or send off, you know. It could be that maybe if you've already done that, we send off in the bridge or the bridge in between the last chorus, where I'm pointing to here. You might want to repeat that again, just as a sort of to reinforce the punchline of the song. And that's you. There you go. I hope I've explained this in a way that you understand, and I hope you have great fun writing a song to it. There you go. Cheers for now, guys.